How do we increase the value of your self-storage company or any other company for that matter? It's not what you think, because most people think, do you know what? I'll increase revenue. I'm going to drive revenue, and therefore my business is going to be worth more because we're going to make more profit, etc. Yes, that's true. But there's another way. And sometimes this is a much simpler way. My mentor, Dan Bradbury, believes that he can save any company that he works with 10% on their expenses. 10% is huge. That's what I'm going to talk to him about next week, trying to look at my expenses and see how we can decrease my expenses. Okay, right. Let me start with my notes. I put here, self-storage is an amazing, in capital letters, business. Here's why. For every £1 you save, you can make £25 on the exit. So 25 times for every pound you save. It multiplies by £25. That's why it's so important to manage your expenses and increase your revenue. Before everybody starts getting really, really excited, by the way, it's 25 times multiple in London for freeholds when you sell or around it. By the way, I'm going to say some flaky numbers out there because it changes all the time. It fluctuates. There's so much criteria depending on, where your site is, what competition, how long you've been going. There's so much. The valuation depends on so many factors, and they're moving all the time. So this is what I've been told by my mentors inside the industry, and I'm going to get a valuation soon as well myself, because one, I want to go through the process, and one, I want to see how I can maximize the value of my business moving forward. Do I want to sell? Hell no. Am I going to sell? Hell no. It doesn't. Nobody could. You'd have to offer me like 25 million to sell or something stupid like that. Because I know the potential value. The value is not here right now, but the potential value is much, much, much greater. So I'm not looking to sell. However, I want to see this process. I want to see and learn and look and see how I can maximize and take advantage of the formula. So let's get into it then, guys. So before you get started, I don't think it's normal to expect 25 times multiple from your business. The 25 times multiple is for freeholds in London. I put here, sorry, I know I got you excited. I don't know why I'm laughing. I did actually put that. I'm like, oh my God. Right. So if you have a chain of leaseholds, then it's likely, this is leaseholds, chain of them. There's going to be many criteria. So please don't hang your hat on this. Again, this is what I've been told, but I'm getting conflicting information from different people in the industry. And these are high-level people who have been there before, seen it, done it, and sold businesses previously as well. And so I'm getting completely different numbers, but this will give you a little bit of an idea. So if you've got a chain of leaseholds, you can expect between 6 times multiple and 12 times multiple. And so to get 12 times multiple, obviously they're going to have to be in amazing areas. They're going to have to be ring fenced in terms of nobody can outposition you, etc. So they're going to have to be amazing. And by the way, some people, and by the way, this is multiple on profits. So some people value businesses depending on revenue as well. I know many venture companies who are actually valuing the businesses on revenue. Again, somebody who told me who's in that world, they are actually valuing self-storage companies with a number of self-storages at 5 times revenue. I've got no way. This is just one person I've met, and he's got background in the venture game. But again, I can't substantiate this whatsoever. It's just one person telling me so. Because only one person's telling me, I haven't put any. It could be right, could not be right. I don't know. So I've got no information about that. But again, it'd have to be a lot of leasehold businesses in good leasehold self-storages in good areas and predictable profit for many years. Right. So I'm just trying to find where I am. So leasehold, you can expect between 6 and 12 times multiple. If you have one storage company, it's likely to be anywhere between 2.5 times and 5 times. Now, again, I think 5 times is a very, very high end. I can't see anybody getting 5 times multiples at the minute for leasehold for a self-storage facility. We got offered one the other week for 2.7 times multiple in London, 2 facilities, and we turned it down. And so there's a whole host of reasons why we turned it down when we looked at it. But for me, if you can be outpositioned, then I wouldn't want to be paying 2.5 times, because yes, you might be okay for 2.5 years to get your money back. But what's the fun in that if it's worth absolutely nothing, and all the time and effort you put in and funding, etc., try and improve a business, And so I just feel like you're vulnerable. If you can be outpositioned, I say this all the time, and it hasn't come to fruition yet in the UK, but if you can be outpositioned in the UK, then I believe that you are very, very vulnerable, and that worries me and scares me. And therefore, I think the multiple going forward, because it's not predictable. And companies who buy self-storage facilities want it to be predictable. And so all we've got to do is look at the big boys, look at Attic Self-Storage, big boy. But they're going for high traffic roads. Safe Store, Big Yellow, all of them are going for high traffic roads. So that can't be wrong. I can't be wrong. And if you're looking into America, what's happening there? The self-storage facilities that are on the back of an industrial estate, not on a high traffic road, they're almost worthless now because nobody wants to buy them. Nobody wants to buy them. And so we've got to be very, very careful. And if anybody takes advice from me, it's just go into it with your eyes open. Yes, it'll work at the back of an industrial estate. Of course it will. Yes, it'll work on the farm. And by the way, I think farms are great because there's very, very little, you've got the space there already. So you're not buying it, you're not doing it. You might as well utilize it. And so I think you just got to be very, very careful when you open back and beyond, because competition are coming. It's going to get more and more competitive all the time. And one of the big factors in people choosing a self-storage facility is location. And if you lose on that location front, then you will lose overall. Right, so let's get into it. If you've got one storage facility, it's supposed to be between 2%, I put here 2.5 times multiple profits and 5 times. These figures are very, very loose with a whole host of factors comes into valuation. Whatever your multiple, it's worth looking how you can increase revenue. No doubt about it. But, and I put but, an extra emphasis is on saving money. How can you save money? Because it is hard to gain revenue. How can we save money? Because every pound you save, it's going to be an extra multiple. And I remember meeting Fred, the founder of Attic, at my self-storage facility. And he was awesome. He was just all of a sudden saying, do you know what, then you can put an extra unit there and you can get this much more money. And then it'll mean on exit, it'll be this much. I'm like, holy shit. I can't believe you just calculated all that in your head right there and then. And he said, so you've got to put an extra unit there. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. And what about taking away this because then it won't cost as much money and you save it. I'm like, oh my God, the way your brain works, it's just literally with the exit in mind. I loved it. It was fantastic. So can you put any extra units in to increase revenue? Because increasing revenue, yes, we want to do it. Because why? Because we get a higher multiple. Of course, more profit. Why not? But I think something that's because it's sexy. Increasing revenue is sexy. Of course it is. It's really, really good fun to look at increasing revenue. But can you, instead of increasing, as well as increasing revenue, can you decrease costs? Can you look at your costs? Can you ring up the electric company? Can you try to get a better deal? Can you ring up the water company? Can you ring up your landlord? Can you ask them? What we did recently is we said, listen, if we sign an extra 10-year lease expansion, even though it wasn't coming to the end, can we have another 6 months rent-free? Yes, you can. So again, 6 months rent-free, that was awesome for us. That was massive. That was like 80 grand just because of one phone call saying, look, because we wanted it, obviously it's better for us to have a longer lease. And it's better for my landlord. And so because it's better for my landlord, because that means that the business, the property is valued higher because you've got a company in there, etc., then it works for him, works for me. And then we get a little bit off that as well. So look, if we extend it, can we have 6 months rent free? Can we have 3 months rent free? Whatever it may be. And so there's always ways to decrease costs. Do you look at your expenses on a monthly basis and think, right, do we need that? Do we need this? Do we need that? So many companies have a leaky bucket when it comes to expenses and just ignore it. And I'm one of the biggest, guiltiest people for that. One of my jobs this week is to go through my expenses again and to look and say, right, okay, my task is to try and save £500 a month. Can I do it? I bet I can because I just waste money all the time. So is there a way you can save money? Right, extra revenue goes straight to the bottom line. And also, so does decreasing costs. It goes straight to your bottom line. Always be thinking about the exit. Even if you don't want to sell, it makes you a better business and a better business owner. Right, my friends, that's it. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.